Hello and welcome to another early spring day here in beautiful Nova Scotia, and welcome to my channel, The Optimistic Gardener. My name is Steve Farley, and welcome to my video 2 of my How to Grow Veg as a Beginner series. Last week, you can see the link up there, I started the series off by sort of introducing things and going through what I think are the 4 key simple steps to get you going as a veg gardener. Started off with, what do you want to eat? Now I might say, what do you want to grow? Because you might want to just grow veg and then give it away, who knows? But mainly, what do you want to eat? And then I spoke about how are you going to, what materials do you actually need to grow your veg? And where do you want to put your veg plot? That's very important with sun, etc. And finished off with water. You know, there's a lot of angst. People get a bit worried about watering the different veg, but it's a pretty simple idea really, and we'll go into that more later in the series. But today we're going to concentrate on what do you want to grow, and like I said, most importantly, what do you want to eat. A note of caution here on what do you want to grow. And no doubt a lot of you follow lots of different social media accounts, Instagram and Facebook, and see all these different beautiful veg that people are growing and all the different colours and shapes that people are growing. And as you can see on the screen here, there's lots of these beautiful different colours, cauliflowers and carrots, etc. But to me, the most important thing, especially as a beginner, that you want to be thinking about is, you know, nice easy veg to grow, and do they taste good? So really think about that when you're choosing your first veg, and that's what I'm doing in this series. Going to be growing simple, great tasting food that hopefully looks good anyway as we're growing it. So on that front then, what veg are we going to grow? And at the end of that last video, I asked for a few comments from people to see, let me know what they're most interested in growing, and I've got some great comments from people. And I haven't learnt this part of the script, not that I actually really have a script, I sort of make it up as I go along as a rule, but I thought I'd write these down to get these right. So first up, she didn't give me any things she wanted to grow because she's from down under. So Christine Payne from Melbourne, g'day, and I hope you're going into your autumn winter season with lots of good ideas of what veg you're growing. Heidi D she's just down the road from me up in Fall River. She was mostly interested, or she mentioned in her comments about ensuring that I go from all the way through the season, from sowing all the way to harvesting and into autumn, and what plants we can be growing later in the year, and I'll definitely be doing that. Cheryl Bolivar, she asked about spaghetti squash. Well, it's obviously a bit early to be sowing that, but I'll definitely be doing some sort of squash, and whether it's spaghetti squash, I'll have a look at that. Rita O'Driscoll, lettuce, she asked for. Definitely be doing lettuce. That's one of the easiest vegetables you can be growing as a newbie, and it's one of the earliest ones we'll be getting hold of, so I'll be sowing those soon. Kale, I'm going to be growing kale, but I'm going to grow kale in the second half of the year. I always find, you know, you get people start, especially me, I'm growing kale early in the year. By the time it's ready, things are warming up, and I don't really want to grow kale in the summer when it's warming up and hot. I want to be growing different sorts, or eating different sorts of vegetables. So kale, second half of the year, definitely. Excuse me, my tea before it gets cold. What else was there? And cabbage, no, not so keen on cabbage. Always reminds me of school dinners. So cabbage I'm not doing this year. Jeannie Keane, garlic, definitely be growing garlic, and I've sown garlic last year in the autumn, so for this beginner series, that again be later on in the year. What else we got here? Excuse me. Spinach. Yes, I'll be growing spinach. I always find spinach is a bit of a tricky one, spinach, and I've found actually the best time for me to, the best results I've had with spinach were growing it later on in the year into the autumn, overwintering it with some sort of cloche covering, etc., and then as soon as it warms up in the spring, the young plant suddenly bursts into life, and that's when I've had the best leaves and the best results with spinach. But I'm going to have a go this year, but don't blame me if it goes a bit haywire, because it's a bit, I always find it a bit tricky, but we're going to have a go. Beets, yuck, not doing them. What else we got here? And that was it from Jeannie. Oscar Hainsley, I think, are you from Alberta? Well, sweet peas, definitely. So we're going to grow some flowers around the bed to help bring in the pollinators. So sweet peas would be a good one, and I'll be growing that probably up the back end of, because this is going to be the bed I'm going to be using, I think, and I'll be growing that at the back end up some sort of trellis. So that's good. What else we got? Tomatoes, definitely, and we'll be going on to tomatoes in this video after I've finished rabbiting on here. Brussels sprouts, definitely yuck. School dinners again, no chance. Linda Hipple, yes, I said lots of lettuces, spinach I've spoken about. Potatoes, definitely. We'll be growing a row of potatoes, and in another series I'll be showing you how to grow potatoes in seaweed. Loving horses, definitely we'll be growing beans. Well, I'll be growing yellow bush beans and climbing beans. So in particular I'll be growing scarlet runner beans. They're my favourite. Every Englishman has to grow his runner beans, and I'll see if I can sneak in some purple beans as well. There's our little tip to Instagram. We'll be growing purple climbing beans. They're lovely as well, actually, and they were easy to grow. So those are the beans that I'll be growing. Tony Johnson, radish. I don't like radish, but actually that's a good idea because they grow really easily and really fast, and as a beginner gardener that's a good way of giving them a victory, or giving yourself a victory, you know, halfway, even, you know, a couple of months into your growing season. Radishes pop up really quickly, so we'll do some radishes. What else we got here? Peppers. Now peppers, same as tomatoes, you know, they're a bit tricky for your beginner gardener, so I'm not going to grow peppers in this bed. I'm going to do another series anyway on peppers, but not for the beginner garden. I'm going to stick with just tomatoes. Nancy Jenkins, so most of what I said, most of what you said I've already said before. And peas, definitely. Cucumber, we're going to have a go at cucumber. We're going to use a bit of vertical space for the cucumber to grow up, rather than, because we're only going to use this one bed and maybe a few pots. So definitely. And onions, yes, got to have onions. I'll be doing spring onions and big onions. Right, so many apologies for you guys that I didn't get to. I just went down the list of comments, and I've only got so many time before you guys switch off and get bored. So on to the next bit, which is, right, so that's the general comments of what people asked for to grow this year. If you saw an earlier video of mine of how to plan a vegetable garden, you'll know that when I do my planning for a vegetable garden, what I do is I list all the vegetables that I'm going to grow, and then I do some columns of when I sowed them, when they're going to be potted up, when planted out, and when the probable harvest date is. And I use that with a plot diagram, an actual picture of what I've planted in this particular bed, and then I'll do that about 8 times with different pictures, and hopefully that will tell me, so April all the way through to sort of November time, and that will tell me what I've got in the bed growing at any particular moment. And you can see that video up on by clicking the link, and we're going to be using that all the way through this series as well. So that's part of the planning process. So to the vegetables that I'm actually going to grow, which are Drum roll please. We're going to do peas, yellow bush beans, scarlet runner beans, onions, tomatoes, lettuce, radish, garlic, kale, cucumbers, squash, potatoes, and maybe some other stuff. I can't exactly remember. And they're all going to grow in this bed, and maybe a couple of pots around the bed as well, just to add a bit. And we're also going to add some flowers in there, like I said, to attract the pollinators in, to pollinate our vegetable plants and some of the other sort of predator species that are having a go at these nasty bugs that sometimes try to have a go at our plants. And this is going to be grown organically, obviously, because all my gardening is organic. From the fertilizers will be seaweed and maybe some other sorts of weedy type liquid fertilizers that I'll be showing you along the way, to no chemicals of any sort going on my plants. So I think that is about it on the what we're going to grow bit. On to when are we going to start sowing? Well, it's still early. Most of the stuff we're going to be sowing is probably directly into the ground, but tomatoes are one of the ones that it's important to have a nice long growing season, like I think I've said before. So we're going to sow some tomatoes now, and that is all we need to be sowing this week. So let's adjourn to the potting shed, otherwise known as my new greenhouse.